Hello and a hearty welcome to Ella's Poems. This page showcases my work, which includes poetry, short stories, and a few books. As you would expect from time to time, I also look at the poetry and short stories written by others. I decided to do the disclaimer in person so as to clear up any misconceptions of what the page is about. Ladies and gentlemen, as you would expect, any page that targets the African continent would have issues where people, just because of the personal life circumstances, approach yourself to help them. I have over and over elucidated that I do not help people emigrate. I don't have the means and the legal powers to do so. I am unable to sponsor whatever ventures you have, whether it be your personal charity or whatever project you are undertaking at the minute. However, I always wish you good luck in your endeavors. Ladies and gentlemen, I do have a e-journal which has been launched. It is called The Muse. You may submit poems and short stories of no more than 200 lines to the Muse. First of all, I put them on my website, and then as when I have accumulated enough, I hope to do a not-for-profit ebook on Amazon. And I hope that whoever contributes to the ebook would have a PDF version that they can read and circulate to the friends. It's just to promote literature that emanates from the continent. Ladies and gentlemen, so do you write stories? Do you write poetry? Have you considered submitting to the Muse? It's free to do so. I'm afraid I'm not able to reimburse people for their data anymore. It's got to the stage where I submit here in the UK to outlets and I have to pay for those submissions. Often projects like this that target Africa are free for you when you access it. It doesn't mean there are no other costs involved. Of course, I have to foot the cost of whatever is involved. I'm saying it because when I post my live videos or when I post that an event is going to take place, I often have people who in the comment section start talking about their own socioeconomic circumstances. By that I mean they start saying things like, oh, help me leave my country, buy this for me and do this for me. You know, and they don't realize that those posts that you leave, a lot of people can see them, even those that do not follow the page. Speaking of which, are you from India or Nepal? A lot of you watch my grammar videos and then you don't like or follow the page. I mean, nothing is for free, is it? I mean, if you were to only follow the page, it would increase the numbers. So, whereas I target countries where people do not give me stars, if you followed me, I would have at least 5,000 followers, and then I will be able to generate some kind of income from Facebook. At the end of the day, I'm a stay-at-home mom. I gave up work to look after my child. And when you don't patronize me, but you take from what I do, you know, I'm not a bottomless pit. So if you were to follow me, at least I will be able to say, well, look, I've got an online channel and I've got at least 5,000 followers. And that's to say that I will be able to generate some kind of income from Facebook. I don't know what it is, but, you know, I find that people, when you're from countries like where I hail from, and I wasn't born in your countries, I was born in Sierra Leone, and they haven't really followed me in their droves. They just see me as a means to an end. So if you don't follow me up to this stage, I don't think it's ever going to happen, is it? So basically, I have to look at the lifespan of this page. I did say I would give it till the book was out, The Misjudged and Misperceived was published, and I will give it to Miss George and Miss Procedures in the shops. It's not in the shops yet. Every day I come on and evaluate the page and think, should I carry on or not? For now, I've given myself till Miss George and Miss Perceived is in the shops, because despite me advertising my platform, I have not been able to build it up to even 5,000 followers. I have noticed that in the continent, people follow particular pages, ones that maybe talk about interracial relationships. You know, I am purple and my other half is blue. It's hilarious because people are people. It doesn't matter who you're going out with, you know, and want to talk about football and want to talk about religion, or maybe you are a rapper or a singer. I don't have a singing voice, do I? If I sang, you probably cover your ears. So I have sung in pubs and clubs here. I remember when I was doing the London Marathon and I wanted to generate an income because I got into the blue zone. I was a runner then. I was a runner. I was doing marathons and half marathons. So I got into the London Marathon. I got a free place and I decided to raise money for a local charity, a cancer charity. And one of the ways I did so was to sing in pubs and clubs. So I can sing. I'm not a very good singer, but of course, I'm a black lady. I can sing. And I had a bloke then who was a friend of mine. He was a pianist. So we used to go on in pubs here and we did a pub crawl. But I'm not a very good singer. I must say I have a cousin who did a duet with Collins Pratt and they did very well for themselves. Okay, so back to what I was saying. Please, can you share the content of the page? Can you kindly like or comment under the material they see on the page, because that would help grow it. You may very well not be in a position to send me stars. You may very well not be in a position to do that about a book, but by you sharing it and commenting, others might do so. And ladies and gentlemen, I am also going to reiterate that going forward, my adverts will target Nigeria and South Africa. The reasons are that they are able to access my product on Amazon. So therefore, my page is going to target Nigeria and South Africa. I would have explained it in Creole. My Creole is not as good as I like to make out it is. I don't speak Chiwa. Chichewa, beg your pardon. A lot of what I post in Chichewa, I get from Google. So I'm going to try and explain this in Creole. Do excuse my anglicized accent. So, family, I want for asking for where una watch the content on the page. Do ya for let una like and share the content, because you're not able for buy me book or you're not able for give me stars because of the content you do. But if I get up to 5,000 followers, that's going to enable me for make some revenue out of Facebook. Every day where I come and look at the page and I think, who started to deactivate this page? So I give myself till this book then publish them. I wait for the book going to the shops. Then I'm not going to be as active as before on this page because they really not do anything for me. They not do anything for me. I get more, what's the word? On Twitter, I get more success because people are only interested in writing or, if something happening at the world, like in Nigeria, then go talk about politics or something happening, on Facebook, I not even get that interaction with people anymore. Most of the people, the way they interact with me on Facebook, they want something from me. So when I'm going to look at their own poem there, then story there, and when they put them out, you find out people when they visit the page. When they talk about them, when you talk about yourself, then they know they follow you or visit your page as much. Because maybe they don't get probably where they want to talk about politics, or they want to talk about football, or they want to talk about religion, and me no want to talk about that all the time. When they talk about politics, and they don't on Twitter, because I get people away, I will say we're on the same wavelength. And I don't just want to talk about politics here because people are like, I would do on Twitter, we try to get people there with the journalists in this country, then a journalist in Nigeria, or maybe then a politician there. Then they go interested in what they talk, they will get a much more serious conversation. So I want to beg people in there for like and share the content while the page still there up, for see whether it's beneficial. If not, I give myself till I hear back from Jimmy, whether the books go be sold in a bookshop in Zambia or not. When I hear back from him, then I will start looking at winding down on this page and just focusing on ellis.com. So I get a website where ellis.com, I'm going to post your poems and your stories. So the email is going to go under this video.
Misjudged and Misperceived is a biography written by Bridget James about a young Malawian with the pseudonym of Mavuto Fairai. The author not only shared the exciting backstory of Mavuto, who a carefree lad was, but also revealed his journey with schizophrenia and bipolar disorder, giving us details of factors that contributed to his mental health issues and late diagnoses, such as the misuse of kochosu, a disruptive childhood, absence of parents, a belief system that he can get healed by a faith healer, and belief in the witch doctor's report that his grandmother was a witch. The story also tells how his depressed father and his uncle was also diagnosed with schizophrenia. The title of the book connects with the story, as the likes of his mother misperceived his symptoms to be childhood tantrums and later believed he was bewitched. Uncle Shifundo assumed it was alcohol withdrawal syndrome. Limoni thought it was a prank, and Mr. Lawrence Chiefware teased him for not attempting to fill out the question paper. The author employs first-person narrative and uses language that is easy to comprehend yet creates vivid images in the reader's mind. Misjudged and Misperceived is an eye-opening book about schizophrenia with references that you will fall in love with from start to finish.
Hello, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I just thought I'll quickly do this video before I crack on with what I've got to do today. It is Sunday and my child's out with his dad. I hope that whatever he got today, that you have a productive day. So why am I doing this video? Basically, as you'd expect, I'm going to talk a bit about misjudged and misperceived. Before I do that though, I wanted to just make a few points that I had to make. And I just feel that it's better when you do it on camera, because maybe when people can see you, they can relate better to what you're saying. The first issue I have got is on the 27th, or around about then, I did post on here that if anyone has got a PDF reader, and if they don't mind, can they kindly do a review of Misjudged and Misperceived? And in return for that, I said I will provide a free copy of the book. When it comes to providing their copyrighted material, most writers refuse to do that because what you've written is your baby. It might not be interesting, it might not be something that's going to win me the Booker T Prize, or I might not win the Bridport with it, but what you've written is your baby and you're very protective of your material. So about 6 people put themselves forward, out of which about 5 were chosen because they were the most reliable, as far as I can tell. So, of those people that I provided my copyrighted material to, only Dorcas and Emerson have gone back to myself. Only Dorcas and Emerson have responded. Now, can I implore all those who put themselves forward that can you let me know whether or not you're going to be able to provide feedback? If you're not going to be able to provide feedback, please do not ignore my emails. Please do not ignore my notifications. Please do not act as if I'm irrelevant. Just say, I need more time to read it, or, I'm not able to open the PDF, or I haven't charged my phone, or whatever. If you put yourself forward for something and I trust you, I entrust you with something that is so precious to myself and something that is Mavata, he's Pempo, isn't it? Something that's Pempo's story. You at least get back to us and say, well, I haven't read it, or I'm not going to read it. Please do not ignore my emails, do not ignore my notifications. It only happens in your continent. It only happens in your continent because it would not happen in the UK where there are laws to regulate how people behave to each other. So my book is going to go into the legal deposit. The legal deposit is a state organization that protects what writers and researchers have done that hold British nationality or who were in England or in Britain the time the book was published and they were here legally, obviously. And you're traceable, you're someone they can trace your address. I went through all of that. So when I send my books to the legal deposit, they get placed in good libraries. So my book is going to be protected here by law. If I give you a copyrighted material, it may very well be that you're not able to read it, or something's happened. Please do not just blank me. Get back to myself and say, I am, only get one page. I need a year to finish it, or something like that. As usual on this page, moving on to something else, people often interact with me when they want something from me. On Facebook, when I deal with the continent, they interact with me when they want something from me. And when they no longer can get what they want from yourself, they're off. They treat you like you're a non-person. So when people want your money or they want your sponsorship for whatever reason, I'm not able to give anyone money anymore. They're active on the page. They talk to you they want you to do a reel out of the poem, or they want you to advertise the poem, whatever reason, or whatever they want you to do. They're your best mate. And one thing that's peculiar about what I've noticed about this page is that when you're no longer relevant to them, since you're not beefing off their ego, they're off. And then you start chasing people to say, well, what's happening with yourself? Can I hear back from you? And there should be a law against it, basically. There should be a law against treating people like that. That is why there's so many issues in your continent, as far as I'm aware. Okay, moving on to something else. So, I am going to be positioned with advertising Restored and Misperceived. And please, if you're in a country where you can download it free of charge, or whether you can download it on, for a minimum cost as an ebook, please can I implore you to do so. As usual as well, I'm still waiting to hear from the publisher as and when he's going to be making it available in bookshops. I will let you know. Of course, that is going to be Zambian bookshops because that's the country in which it was published. Amazon doesn't really supply to countries that follow the page, except Nigeria and South Africa. As a result of that, going forward, my adverts are going to predominantly now run in Nigeria and South Africa so that we can get some revenues back from what I've invested in. Not only that, because I find that in countries where people are interested in creative writing, we get a better reception. So my next adverts for a considerable period would run in Nigeria and South Africa. So, we can get like-minded people who, take an interest in what we do. When I have one advert in the subcontinent, a lot of you have responded, well, thank you very much for that. There's also the handful of people who would post in Chichewa under my adverts. They're often traditional healers or up-and-coming musicians, and they want me to give them free circulation in Malawi and Zambia. So when they see my advert, they then in the comment section, they will then add their own details in Chichewa. And then because they're not legit, they're often not legitimate accounts, I have to, wake up in the morning and start scanning my comment section and start deleting them, because often Facebook would pull adverts that have something in circulation that's illegitimate. You cannot circulate, say, I'm a traditional healer, come to me if you have problems in, you live in Blantyre, you live in Lilongwe, come to me if you have problems. You cannot do that. So for that very reason, I'm going to pause my adverts in those countries, because often what happens is I get a lot of people adding comments in Chichewa, which I can't understand. And also because there are a lot of people additionally advertise in their traditional medicine. I want to explore the territories where people can at least download the book from Amazon, and those countries are Nigeria and South Africa. When we do have the book, we will run the advert again in Zambia, but as it is, I haven't got the product in the shop which I can advertise. There's no need for me to waste money when I haven't got the product in a bookshop where I can say, you can go to this bookshop and go and purchase it, or you can download it from here. So while I'm still waiting for that to all cool, I need to be sensible and chase countries where people can at least read the product about the product on Amazon, or at least they're interested in what I do. They're interested in what I do. And so, again, have you submitted to the Muse? There was a gentleman who's been a page follower for very long, but he doesn't watch the videos, and he also maybe doesn't read my content. He was unaware about the Muse. So the Muse is an e-journal. If you're interested, again, I don't have money to pay people, so maybe that's put them off, So it's a free submission. Unlike what happens in the UK, I'm not going to charge you to submit. And unlike what happens in the continent, you're not going to pay me to publish your material, whether it's a short story or a poem. It's going to be free of charge. And so when I'm able to collect enough material for that, I said we will look at a non-profit, not-for-profit ebook, an ebook that doesn't really generate revenues. And also, I might circulate the PDF if you're in the book, so you can have a copy of it. So, ladies and gentlemen, I need to walk to the shops before my child comes back home. Well, I say shop, but it's just like a little kind of shop where I live. It's like a news agent, because in a residential area like mine, we don't have shops. We have little like news agents where people sell drinks, snacks, some groceries. Yeah, I need to walk down the road to that shop. It's a Sunday before the shut. Again, please, if you've got a copy of Misjudged and Misperceived, you've got the ebook, the PDF, please can you acknowledge me? Can you give me a time frame that you might get back to myself? Please do not just unfollow the page. Don't check my emails, don't respond to that. It makes me feel rubbish. It makes me feel rubbish. You know what I mean? You go on Twitter, you speak to people, they are receptive to what you do. And I'm very tempted to just stay on Twitter and forget about this platform, because it's causing me too much aggro. isn't it? Do have a nice and pleasant day, ladies and gents.